Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news, all right, guys. Let's dive into what has been buzzing around the NFL, especially for us Giants fans. You've probably seen the latest reports from Adam Schefter and other reliable insiders, but I want to break it down for you in a way that makes sense, in a way that gets you excited. Because what's happening right now could be a game changer not just for the Chiefs, but for the Giants' future too. So buckle up because this is some serious news and it's going to have ripple effects across the NFC East and beyond. First off, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. They're sitting pretty at 6-1, which is impressive, no doubt. But as Schefter reports, there's a little concern when it comes to their cap situation, especially on the defensive side. The Chiefs are currently about $3 million over the cap, and they're trying to find ways to maneuver without sacrificing their championship ambitions. One of the biggest moves they're making is trading Trent McDuffie, their Pro Bowler from 2022, a player who's been a lockdown corner and a real difference maker in their secondary. Now, why would Kansas City do that? Well, it's all about cap flexibility. They're trading McDuffie to the Giants in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-rounder in 2025. This trade isn't just about getting draft picks. It's about gaining assets that can help them in multiple ways. The Chiefs are looking to draft a young wide receiver to bolster their offense, and this move opens up some cap space and draft capital to do just that. But let's focus on what McDuffie brings to the table because, man, this guy is a game changer. He's a true coverage ace, and his stats speak volumes. In his career, he's accumulated 150 tackles, which shows he's not just a cover guy, but also someone who's willing to get involved in run support. He has 5 interceptions and has broken up 28 passes, demonstrating his ball skills and awareness. His PFF coverage grade for 2025 is an impressive 90. One which puts him in the top tier among cornerbacks, and he's ranked in the top 5 for coverage. What makes McDuffie so special? Well, for starters, his ability to shut down top receivers is elite. In Week 4 of 2025, he completely shut out Travis Kelce, allowing only 2 catches for 18 yards. That's no small feat, especially considering Kelce's reputation as one of the best tight ends in the league. McDuffie's instincts, graded at 92, help him read plays before they develop, and his speed, a 4.44-second 40-yard dash, gives him the quickness needed to stay with the fastest receivers. His press coverage is also top-notch with an 88 grade. And injuries. He's had a minor ankle issue in 2024, costing him only 1 game. That kind of durability, combined with his talent, makes him a top-tier defensive talent. Now, looking at the Chiefs' motivation behind this trade, it's clear they're focusing on their Super Bowl window. They want to maximize their chances with Patrick Mahomes, and that means investing in their defense. By trading McDuffie, they free up roughly $16 million in cap space, which they can reinvest into their defensive line or other areas. They're also avoiding a costly extension for McDuffie, which would have been around $16 million per year, so it's a smart move from a cap management perspective. Plus, with the draft capital they're getting, they can target a cornerback early in 2026, potentially grooming a replacement or adding more depth. But what about the Giants? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The Giants, currently sitting at 2-5, are in a bit of a tricky spot. Their defense, despite showing flashes, is ranked 18th overall, which isn't terrible but isn't elite either. And with Holland sidelined for Week 8 due to a knee injury, their secondary has been exposed a bit. Flott, who's been filling in, hasn't inspired much confidence. His stats show 0 interceptions and a lack of impact plays, which is frustrating for us fans who want to see our defense be more disruptive. So hearing that the Giants are eyeing someone like McDuffie, who can be a lockdown corner, is huge. Because if they manage to add him, it could elevate their entire secondary, and suddenly their defense could become a real strength. Now, think about the impact of adding a player like McDuffie. According to projections, his presence could boost the Giants' expected points added per pass defense by around 18%. That's a significant jump, especially considering the importance of pass defense in today's NFL. If he comes in and performs like he has in the past, We could be looking at an additional 5 interceptions over the course of the season, and a secondary that's much more difficult for opponents to exploit. His coverage ability would help reduce the number of passing touchdowns allowed. Currently, the Giants have given up 13 passing scores, but could potentially bring that number down to 9, simply by adding a player of McDuffie's caliber. And let's not forget the synergy that a top-tier cornerback can bring. If McDuffie joins forces with Banks, who's been solid this season, the Giants could form one of the best cornerback tandems in the NFC. Think about it. Banks with his 78 grade and McDuffie with his elite coverage skills working together to shut down the division's top receivers. This kind of duo can be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks and could be a decisive factor in the Giants climbing back into playoff contention. Because honestly, their current ranking, around 20th in defense, is not where they want to be, especially with the division tightening up every week. Improving pass defense can lead to more turnovers, and as we know, turnovers are the great equalizer in football. Now, let's talk a bit about the broader implications. If the Giants manage to pull off this trade, it could be a turning point for this team, reminiscent of some of the great defenses in the 90s, where shut-down corners and a tough, physical secondary defined the era. It's about creating a defensive identity that adversaries fear. With McDuffie's addition, the Giants' points allowed per game could drop from 21 to somewhere around 17 or 18, which could be enough to turn a few close losses into wins. That, combined with the possibility of increasing turnovers by around 8, could be the recipe for a late-season surge. And here's the kicker, this move might also impact the Giants' draft strategy moving forward. With McDuffie in the fold, they might focus on bolstering other areas of their defense or even looking at offensive weapons in the draft, knowing their secondary is now a strength. It's a strategic move that signals the Giants are serious about building a championship-caliber defense, a philosophy rooted in the great teams of the past, where lockdown corners and relentless pass rushers set the tone. Which brings us to the NFC East. This division has always been competitive, and with the Eagles, Cowboys, and now, potentially, the Giants making bold moves, the stakes are higher than ever. The Eagles are known for their explosive offense and solid defense, but if the Giants can shore up their secondary and get more turnovers, they could become a real thorn in their rivals' sides. Plus, with this boost in coverage, the Giants' odds to make a deep playoff run and even contend for the Super Bowl could skyrocket. Right now, their Super Bowl odds are around plus 5,000, but if this move materializes and they start playing more consistent defense, those odds could improve to plus 2,800 or even better. And speaking of the Super Bowl, the potential for the Giants to challenge the league's best is more realistic than it's been in recent years. McDuffie, as an X-factor, could be the piece that elevates their defense from decent to elite. Especially when you consider the importance of pass defense in today's NFL, where the game is almost entirely driven by aerial attacks. If he can help the Giants reduce their points allowed and create more turnovers, they could turn this season around faster than we expected. So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for us Giants fans? It means we should be excited about the direction this team is heading. The front office is making bold moves, and they're clearly aiming for a serious playoff push. The addition of a player like McDuffie could be the difference maker in a division that keeps getting tougher. It's about creating a defensive identity that's tough, disciplined, and capable of shutting down even the most explosive offenses. And if that happens, the Giants could be back in the spotlight, competing with the best, and maybe even shocking the league in the process. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, it's all about how well this potential trade will come together. If the Giants can pull it off, it will send a message to the entire league that they're serious about competing now and building for the future. The secondary is a critical piece of that puzzle, and with McDuffie's elite coverage skills, the Giants could finally have the shutdown corner they've been searching for since the days of their best defenses. This isn't just a short-term fix. It's a statement that they're ready to be serious contenders again and that they're willing to make bold moves to get there. And for the players already in the locker room, this is a boost of confidence. A player like McDuffie coming in can elevate the entire secondary, pushing others like Banks to perform at their highest level. It also sends a message to the rest of the league that the Giants aren't just about developing young talent, they're about winning now, and they're willing to make moves to turn things around. It's a philosophy rooted in intensity, discipline, and a relentless desire to improve. So, Giants fans, keep your eyes peeled for what's next. The NFL trade deadline is always full of surprises, and this move could be just the beginning of a series of bold decisions by the Giants' front office. Whether it's bolstering the secondary, adding more playmakers, or even making a splash in the draft, the message is clear. The Giants are on the rise again, and they have their sights set on making a real run in the playoffs and beyond. And now, New York Giants fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you believe McDuffie can be the piece that finally elevates the Giants' defense to elite status? How do you see this affecting their chances in the NFC East and their Super Bowl aspirations? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants, and I can't wait to see what you all think. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and breaking news, so stay tuned for the latest New York Giants news. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, let's keep the passion alive for our Giants.